Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, Paul Teller, special assistant to President Trump during his first term and deputy director for strategic affairs for Vice President Pence, huge supporter of Israel, longtime Washington insider. And if you want to get something done inside the lines, that would be Paul. Paul, always good to talk to you about Israel. Here's what I really want to know. You've been to Israel many times. For someone who's never been to Israel and has to see Israel through your eyes, what is the one thing you would want them to know about Israel that they wouldn't know from the news that makes Israel special?
To me, what's special is the strength of the people, right? Like when you go there, you just feel it coming out of the obviously of the people, but it's just in the air. Strength, right? Resilience, fortitude, all those synonyms, that we can come up with. And let's face it, it doesn't always come from a good place, meaning they have to build that strength because
Right.
they're surrounded by enemies. They've been attacked in all kinds of ways. But more than that, they've turned that into a positive, right? That's what Israel Appreciation Day is all about. How much Israel, the people of Israel, have done together across religions, across ethnicities, across time, despite having every excuse to just be a failed nation because of everything that's come at them.
I'm not surprised by your answer. I've done a lot of these at this point, and it does seem to be, right, the common denominator, the
Yeah.
strength of the people, the resiliency, the diversity, all of those things. And really, like I said earlier, these people are never going to get to Israel, unfortunately, for whatever reason, and which means, of course, that, I mean, it's all about the food, right? They're not going to be able to taste the amazing food of Israel. I get hungry just talking about it. It
Yeah.
goes back to the food for me, but
No, that is true. That is true. Well,
it
also,
really is.
another thing people don't see if you don't go there is how there really is a lot of intermixing, right? In other words, walk around the old city of Jerusalem. Good luck seeing two people in a row who look like each other. I mean, like it's, unbelievable diversity, far beyond the diversity that the American left talks about. And it's right there in Jerusalem. And that means Palestinian and Jew, right? And that means, black and white and any other division you can come up with. I mean, it's all intermixing right there at the center. I would argue the center of Western civilization, right? That's where it started, or what's where it started. You read in the Bible, you go there and you see the things they're talking about in the Bible. It's really fascinating, really amazing.
The
Yeah.
significance of the Jordan River. And, you never really understand the Golan Heights until you're standing on the top of
Oh
them,
yeah.
looking down, and
Yep.
understand the importance of it.
No, that is so true. Right. Yeah. Anyone who does get to Israel, I hope you can make it up to the Golan Heights, right? Because like you said, you're standing and they're high, but they're high for like that region. In other words, where everything else is flat, you have something that's, I don't know, a couple thousand feet high and it seems much higher, but it's not even that high. And it shows you the strategic importance of looking out over enemy territory that you could see right there. I mean, so it's amazing. It adds to that feeling of resilience. It's like, oh my God, yeah, I understand the nature of the threat and how it's right on top of the people of Israel every single day. And by the way, another thing, when you drive around Israel, you see that a lot of the land, at least on its face, doesn't look that great. You're thinking, wait a minute, how are they growing stuff out of this? It's a miracle, right? And you could say whether it's providential or not, people will disagree. But like just a quick look at a lot of the land of Israel, you would say nothing's growing here. And yet it has become just this, land of abundance, agriculturally and technologically, and everything else that comes from use of great technology, great agriculture. So I mean, it's amazing. It shouldn't be, right. Every reason to not
To
exist
not be, right?
as a successful, wealthy, pro-freedom kind of state, and yet there it is. So it's really tremendous.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Teller, former special assistant to President Trump and full disclosure, close personal friend.